That deafening silence when you realize the person beside you on the train isn't wearing headphones? That's not just annoyance, it's the sound of civilization's foundations cracking. What follows is an autopsy of the invisible social contracts keeping us from chaos, and why. Jen Shiori Adams' viral lament isn't nitpicking, it's a societal SOS. Commentary by Eleanor Vance, social dynamics analyst. We're drowning in a paradox of connection. We've never been more digitally linked, yet the human operating system, the unspoken code enabling frictionless coexistence, is corroding before our eyes. Jen Adams' plain ordeal isn't an outlier, it's ground zero of an epidemic of social illiteracy. As someone who studied behavioral economics for 15 years, I see these 10 unwritten rules, not as etiquette tips, but as canaries in the coal mine of collective empathy. Their violation signals something far darker. The commodification of selfhood has bankrupted our shared humanity. The death of the commons, one unflushed toilet at a Timidam's Reddit source list, reveals a terrifying pattern, the collapse of ambient consideration. Let's dissect why these aren't rules, but social life support systems. Cover your mouth. The underlying crisis. Post-pandemic amnesia. When we forget germ theory's basics, we declare biological warfare on strangers. This isn't manners, it's a failure of survival instinct. Pick up your dog's poop. The underlying crisis. The privatization of pleasure with socialization of cost. Your pet, your responsibility. Leaving waste is environmental graffiti, a literal dumping of personal burdens onto communal space. Return borrowed cars with full tanks. The underlying crisis. The erosion of reciprocity economics. Borrowing implies trust. Returning depleted is a microfraud. It whispers, your generosity subsidizes my consumption. Leash your friendly dog. The most dangerously delusional offense. The underlying crisis. The tyranny of assumed consent. Your emotional bond with your pet, universal affection. Unleashed dogs terrorize trauma survivors, allergy sufferers, and children. This is boundary imperialism disguised as benevolence. Opinions facts. The underlying crisis. Algorithmic epistemology. When social media rewards conviction over truth, we lose the muscle for intellectual humility. This rule isn't philosophical, it's armor against authoritarian thinking. Spatial awareness. The underlying crisis. The smartphone-induced atrophy of environmental cognition. Aisles blocked by oblivious shoppers? Slow walkers dominating escalators? These are symptoms of digital dissociation, a retreat into personal universes that erase others' existence. Don't exploit free meals. The underlying crisis. The transactionalization of generosity. Ordering lobster when someone offers coffee exposes a zero-sum mindset. Your kindness is my windfall. It murders grace at the roots. Chew closed mouth plus thank door holders. The underlying crisis. The sensory assault and gratitude deficit. Open-mouthed chewing isn't authenticity, it's biological broadcast without consent. Ignoring held doors? A silent, your effort is worthless. These microaggressions accumulate into relational acid rain. Flush the toilet. The underlying crisis. The ultimate act of social surrender. When adults ignore basic sanitation, they scream, I reject my role in maintaining civilization. This isn't forgetfulness, it's primal disrespect. The golden rule. The underlying crisis. Our empathy engine failure. Treating others as you'd wish isn't virtue, signaling it's the fundamental circuit board of society. Its breakdown explains all other violations. Why missing the memo is a catastrophic leeway, not witnessing ignorance. We're seeing the weaponization of individualism. Consider the algorithmic bubble effect. When TikTok tailors your world, you forget others inhabit different realities. That plain seat. Just another background in your personal show. The pandemic's social atrophy. Years of isolation atrophied our consideration muscles. We emerged not just socially rusty, but entitled to reclaim space. The vanishing village. As families scatter and communities fragment, no elder whispers, don't be the jerk on the plane. Cultural transmission flatlined. Mandatory training isn't satire, it's Triagetum's quip about mandatory life skills training strikes a nerve because we intuitively know it's necessary. We license drivers. We certify doctors. Yet we let loose emotionally illiterate citizens armed with 2-ton SUVs and unchecked entitlement. The Vance Protocol for Social Resuscitation, elementary school shared space labs, role-playing elevators, sidewalks, and queues. Teaching, your body has a social footprint. Digital empathy modules, simulating the human impact of your online rage. Teaching, screens have real-world consequences. Reciprocity drills, borrow or return exercises with consequences. Teaching, trust is a non-renewable resource. Biological accountability workshops, germ theory plus waste management. Teaching, your body is not an independent state. The uncomfortable truth had headphone-free phone blaster on Adam's flight. They're not rude. They're the end-stage symptom of a society that glorifies self-expression over collective preservation. These 10 rules are the last frayed threads holding the social fabric together. Cut them, and we don't get chaos, we get a million isolated bubbles colliding in silent, furious resentment. Mandatory training seems extreme, only if you ignore the smoking ruins of courtesy all around us. The alternative isn't an etiquette lapse, it's the death of livable society. When flush the toilet becomes revolutionary advice, we're not missing memos. We're reading civilization's obituary. The reboot starts now, or the silence of those unthanked held doors will become the defining sound of our age.